"This is just half of them," Chris responded absently. "The other half are already in place, observing the compound's perimeter." Stanislav shared a concerned look with Yuri. If even one network soldier's presence had been detected, the mercenaries would know they were coming. "None have been discovered," Seth said, as though Stanislav had spoken the thought aloud. "I monitored their approach myself." "What the hell is that?" Sheldon, Richard's second, asked as he pointed at something atop the Humvee. Stanislav was a bit curious about that himself. Chris followed his gaze. "A tow missile." Yuri caught Stanislav's eye and raised his brows with a smile, his expression saying, "Cool." Stanislav grinned. It was cool. Neither of them had seen such up close before, since immortals tended to use blades to hunt and slay vampires. "And that?" The French immortal, Lisette, pointed to a weapon atop another Humvee. "Flamethrower," Chris answered. Bastian, the British black sheep of the immortal Guardian's family, stared up at it. "What's its range?" "It can light up vampires 250 feet away," Chris said. "But since it'll also light up immortals, we plan to use them primarily on the gate and on the grounds away from the main structures." The other military vehicles all boasted high-caliber automatic weapons. Stanislav would have thought it overkill if the compound they intended to destroy didn't encompass 4,000 acres. "Now," Chris said, pointing to an area on the map, "these are the training fields that will be active. Live ammo is used on the target ranges, so you'll face a lot of firepower there. The gates will be heavily guarded. Patrols walk the fence. There will be a changing of the guard in half an hour, so the soldiers on duty now will be tired and likely not as vigilant. Surveillance cameras are mounted on the fences here, and here, near the main structures and training fields. But they're sparse on the rest of the grounds. These red circles indicate where you'll find them. Once more, you'll find an assload of vampires in this building. The human mercenaries who work the night shift will be sleeping here in the building next to it. This over here is the armory. Anyone you let go in there will come out packing major weaponry. There's only the one door, and a hell of a lot of them are going to want to use it, so I suggest you park a couple of immortals in front of it." "I'll do it," Yuri volunteered. "Me too," Stanislav swiftly added. Seth nodded his approval. The eagerness with which Yuri approached this battle filled Stanislav with unease. Yuri was like a brother to him. When vampires had transformed Stanislav against his will 4 centuries ago, Seth had plunked him down on Yuri's doorstep and assigned Yuri the task of training and mentoring him. The two Russian immortals had been best friends ever since, as close as brothers by blood. Hell, even closer than Stanislav had been to his own brothers while they had lived. Stanislav and Yuri bore such similar personalities, the same quiet temperament, the same likes and dislikes and sense of humor. Seth had always stationed the two together in the same cities over the centuries, so they'd hunted together nightly, enjoyed quiet hours reading together before dawn, and had kept at bay the loneliness this life could breed. But lately things had changed. Yuri had changed in ways that alarmed Stanislav. Yuri had begun taking unnecessary risks. He was an exceptional swordsman and, in the past, had escaped most hunts relatively unscathed. Usually, if either of them was injured, it was Stanislav. In recent weeks, however, his friend had racked up one wound after another on a nightly basis. Not superficial wounds, not paltry scratches that healed or faded to scars before the two of them even made it home, but gashes so deep Stanislav saw bone when he inspected them, a throat nearly slit, fractured limbs, broken ribs that punctured lungs, stab wounds deep enough to damage internal organs. It scared the hell out of Stanislav, because he knew the only way Yuri would incur such injuries was if he let the vampires wound him. "Try not to blow up the building, guys," Chris implored. "We could use the stuff that's in there." Stanislav faked a long-suffering sigh. "You're forever spoiling our fun, Rawdon." Yuri laughed and clapped him on the back as several of the other immortals chuckled. But Stanislav's worry remained. When he had confronted Yuri about the multitude of wounds that had led him to fear his friend had grown weary of this existence, Yuri had stunned him by admitting he had fallen in love.